It must be so hard to be the Toyota Hilux after being so hyped up for the past few decades, being a really tough, durable, and yes, macho looking truck. Does the final form of the Toyota Hilux in the GRS package live up to that hype? What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll finally be taking a look at this bad boy right here. It's the Toyota Hilux GRS. Now, if you don't believe me that the Toyota Hilux GRS is definitely a highly sought after pickup truck, take a look at this front end right here. It just absolutely screams sportiness with this huge grille right here in front. You got some honeycomb grille inserts right there as well, and the classic, what people are really looking for, this Toyota badge written right across that badge. It's not a huge and obtuse looking badge, it just is that small classic old school Toyota badge right there that I absolutely love. Plus, you got the GR badge right here as well. A lot of people have been putting those GR badges on Vioses, on Hiluxes, even Fortuners, and even High Aces. Plus the shape of this grille right here, that's absolutely special with the GRS, and you won't find that and just, stick a GR badge right there and call it the GRS. Can't do that. You still have your classic Hilux look right here that's been, going on for the past few years now, almost a decade or so, but this time it's smoked out, and you've got some LED inserts here as well as an LED projector headlamp, which adds a little bit more to its appeal. Now you got this piano black bezel right around the grille. You even have LED fog lamps right there and a metallic looking lower lip. You also have some sort of bash plate underneath there in order to protect the engine from whatever shenanigans you're going to put it through. You also have this pad right here underneath the Toyota badge. That works with Toyota Safety Sense along with this front camera, because it's got 360-degree camera system, which most people actually use for parking this huge thing, but it's actually used for off-roading to make sure that you don't encounter enough of these huge rocks along the way to damage your nice new shiny Toyota Hilux GRS. You even have sensors on top of the windshield right there. Works with the lane keep assist systems, but we'll be talking more about that later on. Overall, the front end of this Toyota Hilux GRS looks even bigger because of those extending front fenders right here. Now, the side profile of the Toyota Hilux GRS wouldn't be mistaken for a regular old Toyota Hilux because, again, of these over fenders right here in the front and in the back. They have this boxy design that really adds a little bit more heft to the overall look of the already aggressive looking Toyota Hilux. But with these upgrades right here, it's definitely going to be worth it. I mean, you got these mud guards here in the front and in the back and four-wheel disc brakes. Plus, it's got red painted calipers to it. I know how much you guys really want to add a little bit of red touches right here to add a little bit more sportiness, but Toyota's got you covered. You also got 265/65 R17 all-terrain tires that's shot around these 17-inch piano black alloy wheels right here, which I highly doubt how useful it's going to be, especially off-roading. I mean, these piano black, it's definitely going to be scuffed and scratched out if you're going to use it off-roading. I wish it had beefier tires, but apparently Toyota definitely knows its crowd and knows that a lot of people who will be buying the Toyota Hilux GRS would be using it not just for going off-roading, but I think 95 or even 98%, just heading over to Landers or SM to buy groceries and stuff and put it right there in the back. So they know that it's definitely going to be out there for comfort, and if you want to change it, you got even more space underneath here to just go ahead and upgrade your tires if you want to. Because of the GRS package for the suspension right here, you do have at least a little bit of extended ground clearance here, but thankfully you have its really nice, aggressive looking step plate for you to get inside and out easier. Now, even if you get inside though, you do have these grab handles here so that you can make it a little bit more easier to get in. You have these repeater signals on each side, plus another camera. Again, with the 360-degree camera system, that works. Right here in the back, it's pretty bare. You don't get any sports bar, but I guess that really works, especially with how the Hilux wants to see itself, a more straightforward, rugged, and athletic-looking, not SUV, truck. See, it definitely looks like an SUV almost right here until I get to the back end, and it reminds me that it is definitely a truck. Now you do get this one right here. Check out underneath the suspension. You do still have leaf springs, but you have the special Toyota GRS monotube shocks right here. That's really amazing. It's also painted in red so that it reminds you that you've got the special shocks because you got the most expensive Toyota Hilux GRS out there. Shark's fin antenna up top, and I like the touch that they've added right here, giving it a little bit more, two-tone look, or at least a black roof there, add a little bit more to its macho appeal, plus a pretty low bed here so that you can put some stuff in easily without any problems. The bed seems to be a little bit more shallow, but again, it's normal for these types of Toyota Hilux to have this, so at least it's easier for you to use. At least you got some hooks inside here so that you can secure all your stuff, no problems. But yeah, if you're gonna upgrade your regular Toyota Hilux, I think you're gonna be hard pressed to do so, especially if you're looking at Toyota Hilux GRS like this one. Looks pretty badass in my opinion. Now in here in the back, yep, this is definitely a Hilux through and through. You've seen the design a million times already, I'm sure, over the past few years. But you got some upgrades with the GRS package here. You got blacked out tail lamps. They're LED tail lamps, by the way. But the turn signals and the reverse light is definitely the bulb type, so that shouldn't be any problem. You got more of the piano black inserts on the bumper. Why you would like to put piano black on the bumpers, I have no idea why. I guess that's just definitely there for the look. Now right here on the side, by the way, you see this particular icon here. It has a foot in it with a X. It means you shouldn't be stepping right here. You should step where you should be on the step board, but not on each side. You're just gonna ruin your nice little truck. Blacked out Toyota and Hilux badges here. GR Sport, that's definitely to let everyone know that you're bringing the fancy Toyota Hilux. Another camera right here, and an assisted tailgate. See, no problems. I didn't get some superpowers, I just find it really easy to actually push this tailgate right up. You get access to all this space right here in the back, and as mentioned, it's pretty shallow in my opinion, especially when compared to some more modern trucks these days, but you do have those hooks, 4 hooks on each side. It's absolutely no problem. Plus, out of the box, out of the factory, you get this nice bed liner sprayed right across the bed. I think I finally understand why people are looking for this particular truck and why it's completely sold out and you have to wait for a few months just to get yours in the color that you especially want. But yeah, this is definitely something that it looks good. It looks absolutely great. If you're really into trucks, man, this is amazing. All right, so we're inside the Toyota Hilux GRS, and one thing that that this reminds me. Oh, hold on, let me just adjust the seats. You've got power seats, by the way, for the driver, manual for the passenger. All right, so one thing that reminds me about the interior of the Toyota Hilux GRS is Toyota's philosophy of Kaizen, or continuous improvement. Because what this is right here is the classic dashboard that you get with the original Hilux of this generation. So this shape right here, that's it. That was basically it. So let's start off with the steering wheel. The steering wheel is nicely weighted right here. You got this nice leather wrap around it. You got perforated leather on the sides, plus a red strip on top to remind you what direction your your Toyota Hilux GRS is heading to. Yes, you got the GR badge again right here at the bottom of the steering wheel. You don't get none of that flat bottom steering wheel nonsense. Toyota really wants to give you this classic steering wheel as it should. And you got some paddle shifters right there in the back. The paddle shifters are mounted to the steering wheel, so whatever direction you flick your Toyota Hilux GRS to, those paddle shifters will follow you definitely. Now, the steering wheel is also adjustable for both reach and rake, albeit the reach seems to be a little bit short right there. That's what she said. The dashboard is, it looks like it's soft touch material right there on top, but nope. You've got this nice texture here that does a great job with mimicking leather, but don't get it wrong. That is plastic, along with the stitches right there. Those stitches, those are faux stitches, so that's plastic too. Now you don't get any soft touch materials, but you've got this nice looking pattern. It kind of looks like carbon fiber. I'm not sure what that is, but it has an interesting look to it. It's dark gray to add a little bit more contrast and pop to the overall look of the Hilux. Now you got piano black right here in the middle, which is nice because I wouldn't want to have piano black all over the dashboard, just to where it matters most. So this definitely creates some sort of a contrast look to it as well. And you got this new huge touchscreen infotainment system, thankfully, which is different from the original touchscreen infotainment system that we had in the normal Toyota Hilux. And you've got wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto here as well, and the refresh rate is very refreshing, you gotta say. That's one of my few gripes with the old Toyota touchscreen or the infotainment system. It was very sluggish and unintuitive, but this time around, everything is within easy reach. Right there at the bottom, you got your dual zone automatic climate control, nice clicky switches and buttons, which I like. Plus, you got this nice drive control button right here, not a button, switch, to switch between low, high, or should I say high, then H4 and L4. So this definitely would work. You can work this out even while you're running, but if you want to switch to L4, you'll have to put this on neutral in order to go on off-roading mode. You got even more switches right there at the bottom. This Hilux, by the way, has a rear locking differential, which you can go ahead and deactivate or activate right there, plus a traction control button and downhill assist as well. You got some blank switches too. Now those blank switches, I believe you can definitely go ahead and install your own accessories, auxiliary ports, and whatnot. But the important part is you at least have a 12-volt socket. That's what's important, and a USB port in order to link your phone right there. I would highly suggest that you use this 12-volt socket instead with a fast charger to charge your phones more quickly. But at least you have a Qi wireless pad at the bottom so that you can, well, you do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so it just makes sense to at least have a wireless charging pad. Now, it's got one of the biggest cup holders that I've seen right here, but unfortunately, the cup holders don't seem to have some sort of brace in order to hold your smaller cups, but that works as it is, and large bottle holders on each side. Now, one impression that this whole design gives me is that this is how you definitely work on an old analog instrumentation panel. So you give us analog, but add a little bit more digital pieces here and there so that it doesn't jar your fans. Admittedly, though, the interior looks a little bit dated. But again, the thing about Toyotas is that they're not about fully changing something that actually works. They're here to fully improve on something that's already existing. Like these seats. The seats are nice. They're comfortable. They're not overly huge or too small at all. Plus, you got these nice Alcantara looking inserts here in the middle, the GR badge right there, and they're very comfortable. You gotta say, very comfortable, and you can adjust them as you please. So there you go. If you're looking for the cruise control settings right here, you won't find the cruise control settings on the buttons here on each side. You instead find it as a stock hanging out right here on the steering wheel. Again, another another clue that you're driving in something that's been going on for a few years now. But I do appreciate this two-level dash glove box is at least, plus these cup holders on each side of the AC vents. Something that I really wish that more car companies would apply today, but now I guess we're losing that effect. All right, let's take a look at the rear section of the or the rear seats of the Toyota Hilux GRS and see what it has in store for passengers. All right, so we're sitting right here in the back seat of the Toyota Hilux GRS, and as expected, there really isn't much room here for, especially for someone of my size. I'm 5'10" and a half, longer torso, but even with shorter legs here, and I'm riding behind my own natural driving position, there doesn't seem to be a lot of space here. But the Hilux GRS really isn't something that people buy in order to be their family car, although some people do, but they don't really mind the lack of space here in the back. It's just that if you compare the Toyota Hilux, especially with more modern trucks these days, more car companies are starting to put a little bit more emphasis with the rear seat capacity, volume, comfort, and this one definitely shows you that it is an older truck. But the beauty about having an older truck, an older product like this one, is that again, Kaizen baby, Toyota wants to improve upon all these things. Therefore, you don't hear any rattles or creaks and all that. You don't find anything out of place. The build quality is absolutely excellent, and that's why people buy a Toyota. But when it comes to accessories and toys in the back, all you've got are these map pockets. You got two AC vents right here and a hook in order to, I don't know, maybe hang your legs in. No, hang some smaller items in order to keep them from jostling around. But when it comes to foot space, it's very limited. Plus, putting someone here in the middle, especially someone my size, would be quite a stretch because of this huge center turner in the middle. At least you do have a center armrest with two cup holders right here. So to add a little bit more value to your Toyota Hilux GRS, you've got some GRS branded floor mats. You got aluminum pedals right there, and of course, a prerequisite, red seat belts. Headroom, headroom is nominal at least. So when it comes to space and comfort, the Hilux GRS isn't really going to be mind-blowing. But again, you buy a Hilux GRS for the drive. Speaking of the drive, let's take this out for a spin and see how this works out. All right, so we're now behind the wheel of the Toyota Hilux GRS. Under the hood, you've got a 2.8-liter turbocharged diesel engine that makes 220 horses and 550 newton meters of torque. What does that mean? It's got power up the wazoo. I mean, this is the most powerful Toyota Hilux in the country today, ever. It's got the power to move you. You got a 6-speed automatic transmission, good old 6-speed right here, while some other trucks seem to be moving forward to 8 speeds, even 10 speeds. Toyota definitely makes do with a 6-speed automatic transmission, and the power delivery is definitely smooth. I'm surprised how smooth the power is. The torques don't come in all at once right there below the rev range like other pickup trucks out there. The power delivery is definitely more linear as compared to other trucks. So if you want to get more power, you'll have to mash the accelerator pedal down in order to harness all those numbers from the spec sheet, and it is quite a feeling indeed. Now, if the engine sounds vaguely familiar, it's because it's exactly the same engine that you find in the Toyota Fortuner, the Toyota Innova, and in regular old Toyota Hilux. But how you might be asking, why doesn't all those other trucks, SUVs, MPVs have the same power output as this one? Well, Toyota, in a way, how the way that Toyota puts the hierarchy of their engines is that they put the same engine basically. It's the same engine as those cars, and this one right here, they just went all out and gave us all the power and torques that it can give you. Even though you're driving around in a huge truck, well, relatively huge truck in the Toyota Hilux, the maneuverability is very decent, and turning radius is still pretty good, pretty handleable, manageable. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for, manageable. So testing out the that engine right here, as you can see, I'm just hitting the accelerator pedal as needed, and you won't feel that those jerks and those jolts around when you're riding around in a diesel truck with this much torque. So yeah, the 6-speed automatic is definitely doing its magic. All right. That's perfect. Now, suspension-wise, you got your double wishbones up front, and well, you've got still got leaf springs in the back. But with the GRS package, it's not just about the looks. You also got those GRS monotube shocks right there in the back to improve handling, and it doesn't really feel like a normal Hilux. Hiluxes usually feel very rough and tumble. That's definitely what they're made for. But this one feels a little bit less so. But if you can hear my voice while I was talking during the acceleration part, it's still still going up and down just a little bit here and there. But it's fine. It's definitely going to be more manageable than your regular Toyota Hilux, and you can actually feel the benefits of those GRS monotube shocks. The guys in the back will still feel a lot of the brunt of your acceleration shenanigans, and right here in front, yeah, you can feel you can feel the road imperfections really bad here. But again, people will still line up to buy this truck no matter what I say. It's just something of a phenomenon in a way, the Hilux phenomenon, as they call it. NVH levels, well, related to those the shocks right here, NVH levels are pretty tame. I mean, sure, you can still hear the diesel clatter come in and enter permeate the cabin this way. It's not as sound insulated as other more modern trucks, but knowing truck owners, they definitely wouldn't mind that. So you definitely feel or hear the engine, especially during hard acceleration when you're idling like this. But it's definitely fine. Now, vibration is also kept at a minimum thanks to some of the some more insulation that they put inside here. But yes, this is definitely no gasoline engine. It's not definitely an electric, but you will feel a lot of the vibrations inside. Not because of shoddy work or craftsmanship. It's just the way how diesels are. It might have a lower than usual turning radius, but it still has that characteristically tough and hard steering wheel right here. So you definitely need to do a little bit more curls in handling Toyota Hilux. This is not for the faint of heart right here. Another thing to take mention though is that this thing doesn't have pretty much drive modes. You got Eco, you got Power, as the usual with Toyota. You got Eco and Power mode, PWR, but you don't get any other fancy terrain management modes like mud, snow. You definitely need snow right here in the Philippines. You don't get gravel and all that. All you've got is this four-wheel drive selector and Eco and PWR. So it all leaves the settings to you depending on what you need. So everything is, well, not manual. You got automatic transmission right here. Everything is set to if you need to go to a particular terrain, you'll have to set it up manually. You'll have to lock the rear differential this way, turn off the traction control, and know exactly what you need. But the Toyota Hilux definitely makes it even easier to do so. It's no problem because of the power and torque right there, and the rear diff lock and the traction control. But you definitely need to know what you're doing in case you need to go through any terrain. Well, when it comes to fuel economy, it's also pretty good. I mean, for a performance truck like this, oh, in the city you can get around 8 kilometers per liter in the city, and on the highway it goes up around 14 to 15 kilometers per liter on the highway, which is to be understood because this is definitely no electric car for any stretch of the imagination. Plus, it's one of the remaining few uh, trucks out there with a pretty high displacement apart from the Isuzu D-Max, which has a 3-liter diesel turbo. Right here, you got 2.8 liters, which is pretty much a 3-liter already. But the trend with trucks these days is that they seem to be going lower into displacement and giving it bigger turbos. And with this one right here, that definitely feels very old school, very robust, very tough indeed. All right, so let's talk about safety. Safety features of the Toyota Hilux, it comes complete with Toyota Safety Sense. So what's Toyota Safety Sense? It's their suite of active and passive safety features. It's their advanced driver assist system. So you got everything from lane departure warning, lane keep assist, which they call yaw assist, because it actually detects if you're trying to drive erratically around a single lane. It's going to alert you saying that maybe you need a little break, maybe take some coffee and stop over a little bit. It even has adaptive cruise control, radar cruise control, which makes things even easier. It's got blind spot monitoring systems. You can hear my voice going up and down in the Hilux in our normal Metro Manila roads. Yeah, anyway, you got 360-degree camera system. You got rear cross traffic alert. Yeah, your typical airbags and ABS and electronic brake force distribution. You even have downhill assist and stability control on the Toyota Hilux. Pricing for the Toyota Hilux GRS starts at 2,178,000 pesos, and that's the starting price. That's for the black color. If you want to get the red and the white color here, that's going to cost you extra. So that's 2,198,000 pesos. So that's an extra 20,000 pesos for you. Now, this really, just the fact that I'm reviewing the Toyota Hilux GRS and a lot of people are looking at it right here really begs the question: why is this truck so popular? Why are people willing to wait a few months before they can get the Toyota Hilux GRS in their specific colorway that they need, the specific specification, and even willing to pay above the market price? Could be the last iteration of the Toyota Hilux. There's been some news going on out there. There's going to be a new one, but whether it's going to be a refresh or whether it's going to be an all-new model, I still think that the Toyota Hilux GRS has that timeless appeal. And yes, it's still affecting the way I talk, even go through this tarmac. So that's my full review of the Toyota Hilux GRS. Overhyped or not, you have to admit this thing right here is the gold standard when it comes to truck sales and what people really want and are looking for in a particular truck. It's a Toyota, it's durable, it looks great, performs well, even though it's getting a little bit longer in the tooth. It just goes to show you that you don't have to bring us a new generation every now and then. Just give us a good truck, and once a good truck, it's always going to be a good truck, and it performs pretty well as well, whether off-road or on-road, especially in the city. But what do you think? Drop me a comment in the comment section down below and tell me if you think that the Hilux GRS deserves the hype that it really has. And while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. It's been Roy Robles from Zigwheels.Ph. See you guys next time.